member for Burnaby South.
We're coming upon the first year anniversary of COVID-19, and it has been a very difficult year for so many people. But what is so heartbreaking about this pandemic is how seniors bore the brunt of it, particularly seniors in long-term care. And we've learned that seniors in for-profit long-term care experience the worst conditions and were most likely to lose their lives. New Democrats have long said that there is no place for profit in the care of our seniors. Will the Prime Minister commit to removing profit from long-term care?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have committed to working with the provinces and territories to ensure that seniors are protected right across the country in long-term care. We know there is a need to improve long-term care standards across the country, and we look forward to working with the provinces and territories to share best practices. In the case of seniors, we have stepped up as a government with more than $3.8 billion in tax-free payments to seniors, along with enhanced community support. We're committed to increasing the old age security by 10% for seniors 75 and up, and that builds on our work of increasing the GIS, increasing Canada Pension Plan for future retirees, and supporting seniors every step of the way.
Honourable member for Carleton.
The Prime Minister loves to brag about what he calls big, fat government programs. Maybe if he had focused on smart, results-oriented programs, we wouldn't have the highest unemployment rate in the G7, the worst vaccination rate in the G7. And out of 15 countries measured by the Macdonald-Laurier Institute, we're ranked 11th on the COVID Misery Index. Why did he spend so much to achieve such miserable results for the health and livelihoods of Canadians?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I hate to correct the member on his facts, but Japan is a member of the G7. By taking quick and necessary action, we saved millions of jobs, provided support to millions of families, and kept more businesses solvent. With CERB, with flexible EI, with recovery benefits, with wage subsidy, with rent support, with CEBA. But of course, we hear the Conservatives say we spent too much too quickly. Right. When we turn to recovery, we will regain the jobs lost by making targeted investments, including in training and creating jobs. We knew that the best way through this pandemic was to be there for Canadians, and that's exactly what we did.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
Well, congratulations. The Prime Minister knows that Japan is in the G7. Maybe he should also know that Japan has 1/10 the COVID fatality rate of Canada. So let's start judging results. He's delivered the highest unemployment rate in the G7, the worst vaccination rate, and now we find from a scientific and statistical study of health and well-being, he has delivered among the highest levels of misery for the biggest price. Why does the Prime Minister judge his success simply by how expensive he can be, not by how many lives he can save?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we know this has been a hard year for Canadians, and we've all had to look out for each other. We're grateful for Canadians' hard work and resilience, and as we said, we have their backs. We know it hasn't always been easy, and we've ensured easy access to digital tools and resources that provide information and support. Wellness Together Canada has provided hundreds of thousands of Canadians with confidential support during the tough times of this pandemic. If anyone needs support, we'll be there for them.
The Honourable Member for Carleton.
What was that? Is he really going to expect us to believe that when I ask him about having the worst vaccination rates, the worst jobless rate, among the highest misery rate during COVID, the best he can do is stand up and read some talking points that were written for him by his bureaucrats? Why can't he show a little bit of contrition for his failures? This Prime Minister has cost the most to achieve the worst results, and what he expects us now to do is to just continue down this failed path. If the Prime Minister wants the confidence of Canadians, will he tell them what will he change to reverse the failures that he has delivered thus far?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
I can understand the frustration of the member opposite being amongst the many Canadians who've lost their jobs during this pandemic. The fact is, we have been there to support Canadians every step of the way by investing in families, by investing in workers, by knowing that the best way through this pandemic is to be there to support them. And that is exactly what we have done and what we will continue to do. We've been there for people because we made a simple promise to have their backs as long as it took and as much as it took, not just because it's the right thing to do, but it's the best way to ensure that our economy comes roaring back after this pandemic. We will continue to be there for the Canadians, regardless of what the opposition says.
Hear, hear.